everybody. Sorry, we have a Stefan problem in the house.
Yeah, he's part of the group.
I got a Stefan infestation in my house.
Stefan station. There's something there.
No, let's move on. Just kidding, but not really. Welcome to Adrift in Aldhalor. We can cut all that. Cut that. Welcome to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Paradice. And our music is licensed through Musicbed.com, and our ambience is typically done through Syrinscape, sometimes TabletopAudio. And I'm going to bring Shannon in here to talk a little bit about our partner.
Hello. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Paradice. If you're new here, special welcome to you. If you're not new here, welcome back. We love having you here. Also, special welcome for you, because I don't like leaving people out. So yay. Let's start with our partners. Arcane Spectacles. Arcane Spectacles. Roll for initiative and check out Arcane Spectacles, your haven for all things TRPG. Their personalized D&D themed Christmas ornaments will be a critical hit no matter when you get them. And this is an example of their lovely work. First up, we've got our this is our campaign 1 characters.
Who's Sean?
Some asshole. And then we have, this is my gals. I need to get an updated one because I need to add Saskia on here.
Who's Shannon?
Another asshole. Let's see. So, yes, those ornaments are great. They're fun. I lost my place. What?
I have some downstairs.
Well, it's not doing us any good down there, Sean.
They're really great. And their non-custom ones are also really great, because I have one of their just like plain ones. It's not no names on it. It's actually very nice. It's a very nice order. Maybe next week.
I wish we could see it.
It's not Christmas, Shannon, so it's in the Christmas box.
It's so they're good all year round, Sean.
But then, Shannon, those ones are, because they are like normal and can be anything. They just look like nice little decorative reminders. The one I have is literally candy cane designed and green and red.
That's fair. All right,
it
that's
says
fair.
Christmas on it, I think, or holidays.
Anyway, their top-notch tabletop RPG accessories will give you an edge in battle. Customize their ornaments with your party's names. Bam! Like that one. To show off your adventuring party like never before.
It's too high.
Damn it, did I miss? I gotta do it again. Bam! Take two.
There you go. You got it.
Okay, moving right along. Don't miss out on your chance to level up your tabletop experience with Arcane Spectacles, and visit them at arcanespectacles.com. Next, we have Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a best-selling, Emmy-nominated TTRPG publisher building new and exciting settings for the cipher system of every genre you can imagine. Each setting includes everything you need to explore its unique world, including lore, species, descriptors, foci, creatures, ciphers, artifacts, and all of the rules that you need to play. Their current focus and recent Kickstarter success is Harrow the Blighted Plain, a crystal punk fantasy setting filled with fungal oases, massive sand seas, and long-buried magitech for as little as $3.
$3 whole.
$3 whole. You can join their Patreon and help shape Harrow in each of the worlds that they create. Next, we have Edward Yorke. He is our character artist here in Paradice. You saw on our waiting screen, and you will see shortly on our rotating character cards all of our amazing Campaign 2 art. He's an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. Last but certainly not least, we have 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D and other tabletop role-playing games. There we go. Now you have something to show. I'm so proud. These are the NPC cards that they created. And Sean uses them to make awesome NPCs in our game. How about we see a back of one, Sean, so you can see what's on the back of them. Yee, look at all that info. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love that they have a quirk. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Personality, quirk, flaw, goal, and secret. Who's this?
Ooh, a secret. Who's that? I don't know. Have we met them?
Snap. Well,
Is
not-
it Twig Snap?
Yeah.
Oh.
Although she didn't have a halberd when I.
No, she had a flare gun. Yeah, that was cool. If you'd like to purchase those cards, they have a bunch of different sets, or any of their other awesome stuff. Use the code ParadiceProd for 10% off your entire order. Yeah. If you are not already with us on Discord, go ahead and join us on the Court of Disses. We'd love to have you. Sean puts up recaps for us every week. That recaps the previous week's episode. They are one page. Really great way to catch up on the campaign. There's one for every single episode of this campaign so far. There's one for every single episode of season 2 of our first campaign. And there's almost all for, or no, we did a 2-pager recap
for
first season 1. Yeah, so there's a 2-pager recap. So yeah, they're on there. We also love to talk about our story. There's a story discussion channel on there. So yeah, just come hang out in Paradise. If you'd like to sponsor an episode or two of Adrift and Aldhalor, shoot us Aldhalor. Yeah. Shoot us an email at paradiserpg@gmail.com. And as always, join us in Paradise on all the socials: Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok.
Let's bring everybody else in.
Let's do it.
Look at them. They're smiling. None of them
Look at
burped.
these. Oh.
They did so well.
Yay! I'm so proud of you.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
They're a gassy bunch.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the name of the party.
That's our party group. That's
No,
perfect.
no,
Yes.
absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
All
no.
right.
The gassy bunch.
The gassy bunch.
How about the gassy gals?
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
alliteration.
Pretty good.
God.
That's just one step away from my nickname being Gassy Sassy. So no.
You said it. You
Sassy
shouldn't have.
Ooh.
You just handed them a loaded gun.
Oh.
I sure
Sassy,
did.
you are rather gassy today, huh?
God.
Wait a minute.
I believe it's Gossy.
Gaskia.
Gaskia.
Gassy Gaskia.
Let's move on. Can we play, please?
We are.
I would play.
This is
Yeah,
this is the game now.
You know,
Oh, no.
you know that it's a normal human function. You know, I have a couple of homemade remedies.
I'm
that can be-
aware. We just don't need to bring attention to it. All right? Fuck.
Well, what if we capture it and use
Gassy
it to our
sassy.
advantage?
Maybe we need to spread awareness, you know?
Do you ever think that you might have an air elemental stuck
Who
with
are
you?
you?
You see, Sigil is there.
Sigil. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Sigil, prepare the device to
Oh,
extract
thank you
the
for
info.
being the first to pronounce my name
did-
correctly.
nope, I did
I've
not
just been going
sign-
with it.
I didn't sign any sort of waiver to allow this procedure.
We can
so
extract the air
absolutely not.
elemental.
I'm fine. We're friends.
A fart elemental. You guys gonna end up fighting a fart elemental at some point now.
It's gonna be Smith for a bulk, that's for sure.
Or his dog.
Or his dog, yeah.
Lucy. All right, let's recap. All right. Last we left off in Aldhalor, the party prepared to leave Hyven, to travel to the little hamlet of Billowgrass to investigate a magical sickness that has stricken many of the inhabitants. Before they left, Septimus made a late-night stop to the Square Horse, a tiny basement bar said to be home to connections with Machina's Whisper, a supposed cult that worships what they perceive as machine spirits. The next morning, the party met up with him outside the city, where he had been working on Sal, his automaton defender. So they set off for Billowgrass with a cart from the university. Along the way, they learned about Septimus's family, the many deaths of his siblings and parents, and a lost sister he doesn't know the whereabouts of. The party couldn't help but overhear in the crammed cart, and Sass listened and questioned intently with kindness. But eventually the party made it to Septimus's homestead. Here, Fearn sparred with Sal to see his new abilities, and questioned the automaton's general capabilities, and awareness, and cognition even. Sal showed himself quite capable and quite aware and seemingly capable of feeling pain. The party gathered and watched this, and then later rested in the makeshift repairs in the home done by Bruce and Sass. The next day, they reached the tavern at the crossroads, known as the Coyote and Badger Public House. They learned from the owner, Yorke, about some of the trouble and symptoms of the people in Billowgrass. He noted that a couple that had stayed there earlier in the week had, at least the wife, had demonstrated some symptoms. Particularly of note were the scratch marks on their body, feverish red skin, blue sclera in the eyes, all accompanying erratic behavior that resulted in him asking them to stay in their rooms until they needed to go. The next day they had left, and the only thing he knew is that they were heading northeast, not southeast towards Hiver. Lost my. He warned the party that beyond his property were wildlands mingled with farms, and to be extra careful. There is not as much of a safe road since the great storm of the previous year. There are bandits and other dangerous things. And, lo and behold, on the final day of travel, they saw this danger firsthand, as a band of bandits attempted to ambush and trick the party by pretending to have a broken-down cart on the side of the road. Something Septimus 100% said might happen to the party earlier that day. The party was able to escape thanks to Bruce's tremor sense, sensing the many bandits hiding in the tall grasslands around the road, and thanks to Sal protecting the cart from a falling tree branch the bandits were trying to collapse onto the cart. And alas, they made it to the little hamlet by sunset, safe and sound, to find it sparsely populated, tiny, and looked over by a cottage on a hill decorated with a flock of flying kites in various color shapes, surrounded by a pond and deep forests all around that were mingled with these little old overgrown shrines with elemental runes on them. This is where we left off. The party just arriving here, and I believe heading to the Windy Mercato, which was the place that you were all told would be the only place really to stable your horses while you were in the little hamlet. So, you all are in the cart. I'd say you're kind of rounding the road. Like I mentioned last time, you see this little pond, this nice little pond to the right of the road. Across that pond, you notice a little baby owl bear sipping at the water from the forest line. As you come around the bend, and you can see there's it's a crossroad, just like the last one you were at, and there's clusters of buildings on the left and the far left and the far right, and then closest to the right you see a large what's exactly the word for it? It's not a tent, but it's made of
Your canopy.
Like a lean-to?
It's like a building with no walls, with a A-frame roof. It's just a wallless building. I don't know the best way to describe this. It's like they have a permanent structure there for stalls and for like big festivals. There's a little stage in it.
It's a tent.
It's like a big gazebo.
it's a tent, but it's not made of fabric.
A
It's wood.
pergola?
There must be a word for one of these.
There's got to be.
I've never had to describe one, but you go to like a park and there's like a covered area.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
has like a wooden
pavilion?
Pavilion. Thank
Pavilion.
you. Pavilion. Oh my god! Thank
We
you.
did it, boys. We did it, boys. Stream's over.
Yeah, we won D&D. By, yeah, oh yeah, exactly, a pavilion. A very, very large pavilion that is empty right now, save for a few like sparse decorations that are hanging off of it that look like someone started decorating it and gave up halfway through. So you see some garlands of flowers, some hanging unlit lanterns. Like there's clearly someone was trying to get this place all set up for maybe a festival or a party. And then at the end of the pavilion, on the opposite side of the road, towards the hill that leads up to the cottage, is an actual like full tavern that is attached to the pavilion at the end. That you can presume is the home that the bartender referred to as the only kind of inn in Billowgrass that has a place where you can hitch your horses. But you don't see anyone right now on the streets walking around. It's dead.
And what time of day is it?
It's sunset, so it's about let's say like 7 o'clock.
Are there chimneys on the houses that have smoke coming out? Are there lights?
There are a few lights here and there, and I'd say if there's realistically only maybe like 10 or so buildings here, you do see maybe yeah.
You said 12 last session.
That's where the or so is.
Okay.
In that. I also said around 12. So I'm going to confirm there are 12 buildings now.
Okay.
There are 12 buildings, including the tavern at the end of the pavilion. I'd say about 3 of them have smokestacks coming out of them, and maybe 1 or 2 have a few lights come on the second floor. So either people are resting up because they're sick, maybe, or people have checked in for the evening. But typically, you'd see a little bit of activity even at sunset. But again, it's very, very small hamlet. There is a smokestack coming out of the tavern. There is at least somebody in.
I'd call this place a ghost town, but I don't even think it's big enough to be called a town.
Yeah,
I believe the term is just hamlet.
Ghost hamlet, then.
I mean, that's why we're here, just to make sure to figure out what the is so eerie, I suppose.
Do you suppose people are staying inside for their safety, or like some would say a quarantine?
It's hard to tell right now, but
Seems
something
weird
is
that there's nobody out.
It is off. Why don't we just make our way to the nearest inn, set up there?
What's the word for like sickness spreading in a small area instead of like a pandemic? It's
an epidemic.
All right. So never had to deal with an epidemic before.
You come upon the actual cross of the crossroad, and you would take the right that would lead over to the home where you can set up with the inn there. This is when you notice the first person that you've seen ever in your lives. No. You see a young girl, probably 14, maybe. She has just sort of a very plain green tunic tucked into a white skirt that comes down to just below her knees. She's barefoot, and she has a messenger bag. You can see she's just sort of throwing seeds out on the side of the pavilion. She's a walking stick. And then you notice, peeking its head out of the bag, is a baby owl bear. A little tiny baby owl bear. She sees you, jumps a little at seeing you, almost like she's not expecting anyone to be there, and runs away towards the inn.
Were we close enough that we could see her eyes?
Not like the color of them, I would say.
Okay.
She was like probably like 50 feet away from you.
Okay.
So I saw the color of her eyes, is what you're saying. I can
Yeah.
tremor sense colors.
Colors somehow.
And her
First of all,
being-
Bruce, you saw none of that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
her being startled was just a symptom of us being outsiders coming into town, not like the fact that we're like a group of different crazy looking people.
It could.
maybe it was
it's hard to tell,
tell.
truly.
Yeah.
It could be either or. Like she could have very simply just been like, "Oh, people. I don't want to talk to people," or she could have been, "Oh, bandits." She might have thought in her head. Like she was very much frightened, but she's not screaming, running away. So I don't think it's
Just a little
like her
startled.
thinking
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
are a threat.
And you
Yeah.
said she was running towards the inn.
Yeah, basically, if you're like turning onto the road that's adjacent to the pavilion and it's lengthwise, she was like 50 feet up that road and then turned and ran to go to the front of the tavern.
Okay.
Well,
She's not going to get away from us because that's where we're heading. So
Who can know what's going on in the mind of a child? Let's just go check in. I'm tired of sitting in this damn wagon.
Where are we going?
we're going to
yeah.
stable our horses, Bruce, and check in at the nearby inn.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, I just meant like direction.
That way.
Okay.
So you head up the man, I did not set these up with cardinal directions on this little map I have. You just head up this road that is the left right hand road of the crossroad. And it's maybe only 60 or 70 feet before you reach the actual tavern. And you can see as you reach this end, there is this sort of old wooden fence at the end of the road, and it's closed. There's a small gate. This is not a this is like that kind of wooden fence that's just 2 posts and then 2 more posts horizontal.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you can see a lush garden, and the road continues up the hill, where it meets that cottage, and then goes beyond through the forest up towards the leaving the hamlet. And you can see there is what looks like an old gentleman sitting outside the front of that cottage. He is short. You presume from this distance he might be a hobbit. Sorry, this is not Middle Earth. A halfling, or a or maybe a dwarf, because he is a little bit rounder and thicker. Bald head, white hair coming down the back. Not many other features you can really discern there, other than he has somewhat kind of like almost like a frog-shaped head.
And is this outside the inn, the cottage of the inn, or a different cottage?
Different cottage. So there's the inn, and then there's the cottage up on the hill.
Gotcha. And the cottage up on the hill is the one with the kites.
Exactly, yes.
The inn does not have the kites. Okay.
Inn does not have the kites, yes.
And it's not gated off, but there's a barrier to the road leading up
Exactly.
to it. As in, that's the discerning line of his private property, I suppose.
You might surmise that it's a delineating line of what is maybe his property or maybe something else.
Okay.
And you look to the left. I'm sorry, right. I can't get my lefts and rights correct today. And you can see the front of the inn with a very, very small stable on the other side of it. And it's very, very, very basic. Single door, 2 windows, A-frame roof. Probably doesn't even really have many rooms for people to stay in. Maybe 1 or 2. And small bar inside.
Well, probably try to approach the stable first and see how much it is to tend the horses for the day. At least just keep them held, because I believe we should have enough to feed them and such in the cart.
So when you go over to the stable itself, it only has 2 stalls, and you can see that there is 1 horse in one of the stalls already, and you can see a little girl tending to that horse.
It's not the same little girl that ran away, is it?
No, it isn't. Different little girl. So this little girl looks younger than that one. She's probably maybe 11. She has very, very long blonde hair. You can see the tips of half-elven ears that are not so long and pointed as a full elf. With a light blue sort of shoulder cloak and a brown and white and gold trimmed dress underneath with sandals on. Very, very, very simple attire, other than that light blue cloak that's a little nicer. And she is currently just brushing that one horse.
Excuse me, young one.
Oh, hi there.
Hi.
You...
We are travelers coming into town. We were hoping to dock our horses here for the night.
Travelers?
Or maybe for the next couple of days.
Oh, we haven't had travelers in a long time. Oh, come on in, come on. I mean, we only, and she looks and sees your two horses. We only have one stall available right now, but, I could probably, take Brownie back to my house for tonight. Let me go get my mom. She might be able to help you.
That'd be great.
Sorry, we just don't see a lot of people these days. All right, and you see she's actually kind of like, she seems a little nervous, but at the same time she's like eyeing all of you and eyeing anything you have. Like she's, and not in like a I'm gonna snatch it way, but in a, like marveling at anyone who has swords that are visible or jewelry, anything that's nice. She seems to be clocking, but again, not in that like stealing way, but more so in isn't that neat kind of way. You might even surmise, some of you who are a little bit more minded towards this, like Jacquette and Sass, might surmise that she is thinking adventurers in her head. As she rushes out of the stables and into that front door inside. And not too long after.
Seems like a nice enough girl.
Such a sweetheart.
Hey, she talks really well for her age. Also, authoritative. Like, hey, this is, instead of just running away like I would as an 11-year-old, she was like, all right, let me talk to these adults pretty well. Just impressed.
It's at that point,
I feel
anyone... Go ahead.
Most children are as cowardly as you, Bruce, even at this age.
Oh, okay.
It's exactly as you say that anyone with a passive perception over 10 would see that other girl peeking out the window, looking at you all. And you can see like her head is above, and the little baby Oliver's head is below hers. As she just has like the curtains open of one of the tavern windows. And if anyone looks at her, she immediately closes it up again and gets scared.
Yeah, I'd look and try and like do like a friendly little wave.
Immediately.
Oh. Yep. Maybe she's just shy. Or maybe she doesn't like people. Not everybody likes being around people.
I don't think anybody in this town likes being around people.
Well, the fact that the other one said that they haven't had visitors in a long time is a clear sign that things are worse than we may have thought.
Yeah, especially if there's a sickness going around.
Can you guys see if they're blue in the eye from here? I don't know. I can't really see that far, so.
That's what I was trying to see, but she was too far away. I'll check when the mother comes in.
The first little girl, very clearly not blue sclera. Her eyes were blue, but not the sclera. Out comes a full elven woman, who it looks like, for those of you from Gwenvalier, that she is of Gwyn descent, which likely means that she is a transplant over here.
Very nice.
She has
That's
that was Seraphil saying that from afar.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes, spread the Gwyn Empire.
Exactly.
She has
Cover all the world.
she is very, very she's got that complexion of some Gwyn elves where it runs a tinge of red. And long very, very, very classic elvish long blonde hair, with the long ears sticking out. She wears a heavier green cloak that looks very similar to the smaller blue cloak of her daughter, with a long double-breasted tunic that goes down past her knees, with regular leathers underneath, with boots. She's wearing gloves right now. Seems like she was working on some stuff, and you do notice, and she's not particularly trying to hide it, but she does have a rapier at her side. It's two lovelies.
Nice. Oh. Good evening, ma'am. We were just talking with who I'm assuming is your daughter, that we were hoping to board our horses for the evening, or maybe the next couple days.
Yes. What are you doing in the town here? I'm sorry, we don't get a lot of travelers, and I don't know what word has gone throughout Asia, but are you just passing through, or?
I suppose passing through, just seeing.
We're adventurers! Jacques pipes up from the back, leaning over the edge of the wagon.
Adventurers?
Of course. Renowned through the land. We're here to save your little town. Or hamlet, excuse me, he says, looking to Septimus.
Is that true? You're here to help us? Someone sent you?
We were here to kind of gauge the situation. We've heard some rumors, but we wanted to see it firsthand for ourselves, and depending on our knowledge, hopefully, of course, help.
That's amazing.
You got the sickness, we got the cure.
Okay, Jacques.
I don't know if we've got that just
Not yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't you worry.
Are you?
Hyven's heroes
No.
are on the job.
We.
Oh my.
Oh, you're
goodness
from
gracious.
Hyven. We don't have a lot of money.
Oh, don't worry. We have someone else paying, so you're all set. As long as you help us out, we should be good, right, gang?
Sorry, just the cadence of your voice sounded like we've had other adventurers come through who often were trying to either exploit us for gold, or were also at times trying to sell us something.
Well, we're here to look into what's been going on. Truthfully.
We have been sent here from some academics at the academy who are concerned. Perhaps we can board our horses, come inside, and we can chat there.
Oh, yes. Ari, see to their horses. And get your sister out here. You should be working too. Yes, come on in. I'm sorry. We don't have a lot of rooms. You'll have to share. But we're happy to give you lodging for free if you're here to help.
It's all right. I'll sleep on the
Fantastic.
cart. You guys can take the room. I'll stay outside. Just to
I
stay with
can-
the cart.
I can stay with the cart too. I didn't like the look of those bandits coming into town.
You saw the bandits. They were out there.
Unfortunately.
Oh, there's been a lot of that lately.
Has there?
Hmm.
I suppose I was aware, but from what you're describing, sounds a lot worse.
Well, some of those heroes turned out to be bandits.
Well, we may have had a little running with them, but luckily didn't cause us too much trouble.
Do you know where they're stationed? Do they come to Billowgrass every so often, or?
Come inside. We can talk inside. And you see she opens the door to let you all in, and you see as soon as you step in, like this is a tiny tavern. This is the kind of place where we're thinking about real life, like where like 3 old men go every like Sunday afternoon and have 2 Guinnesses and play pool on the smallest pool table ever. Like there's a simple wooden bar with 4 stools, and then literally just 2 tables off to the left, and then a back door that leads to a little small back area and a set of stairs, and then past that back door is a door that leads directly out to the pavilion. You can see this place, though, right now is covered in decorations. Not decorated, but loose decorations that she seems to have been gathering for some kind of festivity that you can now tell she's the person who gave up on decorating the exterior.
But festivity, anything that Septimus could recognize? Has to do, like, spirit-wise, I suppose.
Yeah, give me a religion check with advantage. You definitely know. I just want to see if you know more.
Yep. Very nice. 22, and that is 22.
So, 22. So this is a dual festival that happens in the Ezja area, particularly this area, Reykjavik, which is the general farmlands. The middle area of Ezja is known as Reykjavik and is kind of its own community, with Billowgrass being the central point that is not many people live there, but it's a gathering place. Just as Fairhold is kind of a gathering place for Hyven for festivities and closer village farmers. But this is a festival particularly devoted to Ilyuvania, particularly for Ilyuvania's protection. It's meant to be sort of a harvest festival to offer up sacrifice for Ilyuvania's protection through the long dark that's coming into roughly a month and a half or so. But it evolved into that over the last 30 years. Prior to that, there was a and parts of this are still in the festival. Before that, it was very much so a festival meant to appease elemental forces and to wish for their protection during the long dark. It is.
I'm assuming these, like, the storm elementals in particular, as a majority.
Yes. Yep. Majority storm elementals. And the other side of this is kind of like the biggest festival of the area, or it used to be. Now, you, though, Septimus, when you were a kid, your parents did not like this festival because of its shift towards Ilyuvania.
Oh,
Your
okay,
father starchly spiritual towards the elements. The other thing is your parents were transplants, so they were always a little not part of the generations of farmers that were here. They always felt a little outside of it.
Right.
Part of this festival is the naming ritual. And what that is essentially people from all over will bring their children here, their newborns from this year, coming towards the end of the year, towards the start of the long dark, or really actually more the mid-year, to name them, essentially, to give them their true name. It's sort of seen as their child has survived to a point where we believe that they will not die of complications in their early days. And what happens is the child gets to, the parent and the child, depending on how old they are, write this true name onto a kite that is then strewn from the cottage above, where the onomancer lives, the namer, who helps the family choose the true name of the child. You never got to participate in this because of your parents didn't believe in that, given your name.
Was that a thing that was adapted from the Ilyuvania influence, or was that something that was a staple for?
This was elemental.
Okay.
Yeah, this was the part that never changed.
Kind of like felt like okay, but it was just tainted by Ilyuvania, so we never did it. And what was the age of right for children?
It was usually after their first or second year. Some parents waited longer.
Really young. Okay.
Yeah, some parents waited longer. It depended on kind of their familial situation. They were a very well-to-do family that had a low chance of their child dying at a young age, or in childbirth. They brought them right away. Others waited a little while. And a lot of families would have a name for their child that they would still call them at home during this time. a lot of children from this area have two names. They have their, it's kind of like Catholic confirmation. I've got my home name, and I have my true name or my confirmation name.
Yeah.
But most people tend to, in formal settings, go by their true name, but in casual settings go by their
And
home
this should
name.
be coming up in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, it should be
was
by
it
the end of the month.
End of
End of the
summer?
month. Yeah. Yeah, basically. Because autumn is very short in all of Aldhalor, really.
Or I guess it would just be autumn itself then, right? Because it's very short, and that's when the
Mhm.
harvesting is.
Exactly, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so this is something that should be like, it should be more so when you came here, there should be like the startings of like people camping out around the town, like setting up tents since there's not a lot of places to stay in Billowgrass, and getting ready and getting excited, helping decorate. This should be a festive time, not a quiet time entirely.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that all in for right now, and
Mhm.
we can progress.
Yep. But anyway, when you come in, she looks to Bruce to answer his question from before that big description. The bandits, they don't really come actively brandishing swords and demanding anything. They sort of scour, troll the borders, show themselves enough to, I mean, I suppose, make a few of us here afraid. That hasn't been happening for a very long time, but it has been getting more and more the last 6 months, I would say.
Is that perhaps why that travelers from all over Asia have declined here? I mean, I'm from the area, and I would suspect this place be thriving with people with a festival right around the corner.
It has grown much less safe to travel over the last year since the Great Storm. There are a lot of people leaving too, leaving Asia, trying to head towards the cities for better work. And there's been some company snooping around, offering to buy property. Somewhere from the Midlands. Don't know. They didn't talk to me. So I don't really own anything but this tavern, the pavilion. Yeah. Normally, I make most of my money this month.
Well, maybe amongst ourselves we can discuss the threat of the bandits later. A bit curious as to the nature of the sickness that's been plaguing this area. We happened upon another tavern along the way. The keeper there spoke of 2 other travelers who came from here. One of them afflicted with, described it, the whites of their eyes turned blue. Not feeling very well either. Might you be able to expand a little more of this?
Yes. That was probably Taurus and Kala. She grew sick the last few weeks. Everyone here knows someone who's gotten sick. And
could you? Sorry.
I was gonna say, you notice she looks out like the window towards the girls outside. And when you walked in, like that other girl, she like darted out the door as soon as you walked in to go help her sister. Noticeably does not look like them, and does not have elven ears.
Mm.
You know, very scrappy, very like just very human, Well, they're elven and half elven, like very much that brown hair, very mousy. That's the word I'm looking for, mousy looking.
So how long ago has it started around here? And how many have been afflicted?
The sickness is probably on and off again, truly for the last year since the Great Storm. And it's not only the people who live here. It's you go a mile up the road and ask the farm there about their family, and some son or daughter has grown ill and erratic. It's all over Reykjavik.
Could you tell us every symptom of the infected?
It's usually the warning signs are often you don't see someone for a while and they've really retreated themselves from day-to-day life, isolated themselves often. I don't, although I know people who know someone, and I know people who have fallen sick, no one in my household has yet. But what people say is they loved ones retreat from their families, they stay in their rooms, they leave odd hours. Sometimes they never see them again, other times they return. Most beast-like their behavior. Voraciously thirsty, voraciously hungry, blue eyes, scratch marks on their bodies. Blood bleeds from their eyes sometimes, their nose, their lips.
Now, when these signs start appearing, like so, they start isolating themselves. How long does it usually take for them to start exhibiting the symptoms of becoming more bestial? Is it 2 days, a week, a year? What are we talking?
It differs. Those who are isolated in their homes, or their families quarantine them, they grow erratic, and the symptoms develop very rapidly.
And
Couple of days.
When you say they get bestial, does it ever turn to full-on aggression?
Oh yes, yes. Up the road, Farmer Ross's son tried to truly nearly killed his mother.
My goodness. And where's the boy now?
I'll make it.
You said that the symptoms progress when they isolate themselves. Does that mean that there's another method to perhaps slow the symptoms?
Those who leave, disappear. Some have returned these symptoms, but it's many months even sometimes after they leave.
When they leave, do they have the scratch marks, or do they have the scratch marks when they return?
Usually when they leave, they have the blue eyes, at least. Scratch marks come back. They come back with them. Yes. But anyone, well, I don't know everyone, but anyone I've spoken to who's seen someone leave or disappear, many reports say they had the blue eyes before leaving. Should go to check on their husband, brother, who's been sick in their room for a week. They look at them with these blue eyes, almost like the blood, the veins cells are become blue. The anger begins. And unless you lock them down, they flee. They try to escape.
And no one knows where they go.
And
no
people have
one's
tried to go
asked?
search.
And so when those that return, does no one ask where they went?
They usually return violently. Fortunately, some of them end up dead.
But you said some. Maybe I misheard. You said some that leave come back cured. Did I mishear?
No.
Okay.
None
So
have come
no
back
one has
yet.
been cured of this.
There's not been
Everyone
any
that
cure.
gets it ultimately dies.
Do you have any,
Or disappears entirely and never returns, presumably dead. We've searched for
Any-
those people. Sorry.
Yes, no, I didn't mean to interrupt. Do you have any idea how it's transmitted?
I mean, people have their theories.
Such
Yeah.
as?
I mean, the most superstitious of people think that they're cursed. They've sold their names to some fey creature in the woods. Walked back on their deal. Others... A lot of the people who get sick are healthy, young. Some presume that they're getting into something out there.
You said that they have these scratch marks. Do you think that they're... Have you ever seen one of these people up close? Maybe after
Personally,
they've
no.
passed?
Do
Do you know anyone in town where we might find a body or someone who's afflicted with this disease?
The most recent reporting of someone passing sick was Farmer Ross's son.
And he's still alive. And he's in this condition.
No, he's passed.
Oh.
It was very recent.
Is there anyone you know of that is currently afflicted? That is alive?
I think Davin is sick, or was sick, if he's still here. People
Remember, we find a...
people don't talk with each other as much as they used to. But I heard Davin was sick. A couple miles out of town. Broad Ripple Farm.
Hmm.
And from from what you've heard, is there any sort of similarities in the behavior of the children that you knew of prior to them getting sick? So, like, are they the type to run around and are very curious about the world, very explore? They like exploring.
Now that you mention it, somewhat very capable young individuals with dreams. One of them I was friends with when I first moved here. Used to be
Yes.
the type of people that your grandma would say have their head in the clouds. It's not in the field where they should be.
Yeah, invincible syndrome. As a kid, you think you're invincible.
They also, you're from a place like this, and she looks to Septimus. There's not a lot of roads out of Reykjavik. Some people see folk come through town with fancy weapons, armor, jewels, adventurers, and want more.
Hmm.
A lot more than Billowgrass can offer.
Fion's gonna lean over to Septimus and say, I think we should investigate the last known victim, we might be able to learn something from seeing this up close.
I agree. We do have a couple of leads, a couple of people we talked to. I think it's best to find somebody that is still afflicted currently and try to analyze the situation, the conditions they have, question them if they're still coherent and have their faculties.
I'm curious to where they're all going when they leave. I
Yeah,
wonder
that's
if
a
we'd be
great
able
question, Sass.
I wonder if we'd be able to follow. If we happen to notice anybody leaving.
Oh.
Well, it
We could
sounds
always
like...
follow Davin after he.
Right. We have two
Well,
leads. We have the farmer's son, who is deceased, and that might involve digging up a body. So probably not the best, but at least the farmer could give us information. And then this Davin individual.
Yes, but hopefully, let's at least try to meet with him before he has the urge to leave. I fear that once he hits that stage,
If
his
he
condition
hasn't
may-
left already.
Of course.
He
Also,
lives with his sister on the farm. There's a chance that she couldn't keep him contained, would have left. Or even if you can convince her to help him, maybe let him leave so you can track.
Mm.
What's your name again, by the way?
Oh yeah, yes. I'm so sorry. I did not introduce myself.
I don't believe we did either.
Oh, we're
Except for-
Haven's
except
heroes.
but not by name.
It's, Alicia.
Alicia?
Ah,
No, but I've heard that one before. I used to get that a lot back home before I came here. It is my daughter Ari, and my foster daughter Hortense.
What was it? Sorry.
Portents.
Hortense, okay. I thought
And
you said
Ari,
Cortez.
yeah,
My
Ari's,
foster daughter Cortez.
Ari is the 11-year-old or the 14-year-old?
Ari's the 11-year-old. Ari's the smaller one. Hortense is the one who's a bit shy.
And real quick, while we're asking questions, how much do you normally charge per night?
bye, Clayton.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We lost him. Well, we're all gonna be a little funny for
He
a
didn't-
second.
He didn't like that question.
During the festival, it is usually 3 silver pieces, but off-season it's very, very cheap. 5 copper.
So normally you would charge us 3 silver.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Jacques has a sheet where he's keeping a running tally.
For your
Expenses.
expense report.
Yep.
Hilarious. Well, thank you. This has been very helpful. Alicia. Right?
Alicia.
Alicia.
Alicia. I was making sure I was pronouncing it right. Alicia. Thank you. It's been very helpful. But I think our best course of action, if everybody agrees, let's get a little late in the evening. Might not be wise to bang on people's doors this late at night, especially people who are not from this town. Get a fresh start tomorrow.
Well, Fearn and I are gonna stay outside with the cart, so we can take turns.
Sure.
We can take turns
Sure.
watching, and we can wake you up if we notice anything happening.
Sounds good. I get the room by myself, Jacques says, already taking his stuff to go find
Yes,
a room.
yes, we know.
All right.
You head through the back and up the stairs, and you find a narrow, very narrow hallway with 4 bedrooms in there. Each one has 2 cots in them that are like right on top of each other, with like a single, very small nightstand in between them.
Oh, very nice.
In his room, Jacques takes the nightstand, moves it, puts the 2 beds together, and gets comfy.
Okay, and then The other two of you, you can have your own rooms too if you want. There are 4 rooms.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Um,
if we don't have to share, then yeah, sure.
Yeah. You actually, yeah, you don't technically need to share. You can spread out. With Fearn and Sass staying out in the park.
How kind of you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, really, one of them could stay in here too, and we still wouldn't be sharing rooms.
Sure.
I think they wanna bond or something, or just be outside.
Look at the stars.
Look at the stars.
Look
Watch-
at the stars. Look
Fear's
how they
just a little
shine
paranoid. This is a
for
really
you.
strange town.
I mean, yeah, I don't blame that. I mean, it's true. But I mean, I didn't have anything else planned for this evening. If anybody else did, or we could just.
Nope.
And if they didn't, I think I'm good to just go to bed and
Yeah.
wake up the next morning, kind of regroup, and come up with a plan to start talking to peoples.
Clayton, I don't know if you heard before you crashed, but I had suggested that you and I take turns on watch so we can see if anybody starts leaving the town. We can get the others up and follow.
All right, sounds good to me. Yes.
Okay.
Brilliant.
All right. So, yeah, you two want to give me perception checks while you're outside? You may.
Absolutely.
I will take the second watch.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Sass, give me the first one.
15.
15. Okay. Fairly quiet night. You just sort of hear the chirping of crickets, as it is also incredibly dark out here. There's only really a couple
That's all
lanterns
right.
outside.
I have devil sight.
That's right. You can see everything.
Is Sal out here? Septimus?
I
Yeah.
kept Sal inside the cart.
And okay.
So he'd be
all right.
there.
All right. So I'm sitting in front with my feet up, arms behind my head, and just like boots up and hat kind of askew, just kind of watching and enjoying even though it's like a ghost town, it's getting a little bit of a peaceful vibe. And question for you though, would I'm ready to start piecing puzzle things together, but Saskia doesn't know these things. Would I know anything about that naming ritual or no?
Give me a history check.
This is not going to go well. Nope. 0. I rolled a natural 1 minus 1. So
Yikes.
nope.
No, you've never heard of this particular naming
Alright.
ritual.
So 2 names of this. Why would anybody do that?
I will say, since you are outside, you would see Ari, Portens, and Alicia leave, and they basically just go across the street, and they have a little house there. They go in. You see they bring their horse along with them, since it was in the stable at the tavern. Brownie.
Something on the
you
horse?
Yeah.
Nice.
And you did note, like, as you're like kind of sitting there, and you can see like Fearn getting comfortable in the cart, and Sal just kind of sitting there, hidden amongst the canvas. You would see Ari does kind of like stay outside and tends to this horse for a very long time, and just kind of like watches you and Fearn in the cart, with that childlike curiosity. She waves and then kind of like hides a little bit behind the horse, but keeps her head out and waves back.
I'll do like a little like, maybe like I'll take my hat and do like a little like peekaboo kind of thing.
Yeah.
As she's doing it with the horse.
She rolls her eyes at that. And you can tell she's kind of like, I'm 11.
I'm 11. I'm a big girl.
Like, that's the attitude there.
Yeah.
As you would find every now and then you look up and you watch the stars, or you watch the road up the street, or look to the cottage and the kites flying high. And when you look back, you can see she's like a couple feet closer. The horse. And she's just trying to get an eye on you all, because you're adventurers, and that's exciting.
Is she close enough that if I call out, I can talk to her?
Yeah, I mean, she's been close enough the entire time. This road
The
is
entire-
like
okay.
this road is like 8 feet wide, and
Gotcha.
they're right across the street.
You're a curious one, aren't you? You can come sit if you want.
And Fearon, I'll say like this is early enough in the night that you would still be like somewhat falling asleep, but you would be able to hear this and be able to interact as well.
Okay. Fearon's in the cart, like, not really visible.
Mhm.
And he's just got his arms crossed and his eyes closed, or one of his eyes
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She does kind of rush forward, like bringing the horse with her.
Sure.
And the horse kind of like she comes running forward. And she does kind of like still kind of like hug close to the horse as she looks up, and she just goes, "Are you an adventurer?
Yes, ma'am.
What have you done?"
Oh, what have I done? I've sailed on ships.
Ships? You've seen the
Yeah.
ocean?
I love the ocean. Yeah.
I've never seen the ocean.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You killed a dragon?
No, I haven't interacted with one, unfortunately. It's on my list, though. I think that'd be a great time. What about you? Have you ever seen a dragon?
No, I've seen a hippogriff.
Oh,
I've
what was
seen
it
a
like? I've
hippogriff, and I've seen a owl bear.
I saw your sister has an owl bear, a little one.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
It's very sweet. And you've got your horse here. It's beautiful. You must take very good care of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I wanted to name him Destroyer, but my mom wouldn't let me.
I get that. That's a very cool name. Very cool name.
That's what I said.
I know somebody from back home named Destroyer.
You an adventurer too? And she's kind of like trying to peek into the cart.
Come out here, Fearon. Come say hello.
I kind of like I slowly wander my way out, and I stick my head out through the curtains, and I look around, and then I look down and see this small girl and sit next to Saskia and say, "Yeah, there were plenty of people back where I came from that had scary
bad
names like
chocolate.
that."
Oh. Have you killed a dragon?
I'm interested in that as well. Have you killed a dragon, Fearon?
Killed a lot of things that resemble dragons. Can't say I've had the honor of slaying one myself.
Do you want to be an adventurer, Ari?
I do, but I mean, there's never been an adventurer from Billowgrass.
Oh, but that means you get to be the first. How grand is that? Oh, I can see it now. Ari, the adventurer from Billowgrass. Every bard is going to know your name.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Sorry, I get excited about things. But if you want to be one, you should be one. Doesn't matter if people did it before you.
Yeah, my mom doesn't let me touch her sword.
Hmm.
She's had it for a year now, and I asked her if she could help teach me how to use it, and she says no. No.
Do you want to know how to use a sword?
Yeah.
Hmm,
Do you have a sword?
I sure do. Although, you can't see it right now. I can get it. But it might be a little, startling. Do you want to see it?
Well, yeah, can I hold it?
Sure.
Can I swing it?
Carefully. But yeah. You ready?
Bjorn is just looking and is very concerned about what's happening right now.
I'm gonna
You
get
watch as
down off the cart.
It's like literally as you get down off the cart, she like scrambles and pulls herself up onto Brownie's back to kind of get your eye like closer, close to your eye level.
I'm gonna stay a safe distance back, and then summon my cutlass. With the splash of seawater, it comes and shows up in my hand. Huh? Huh?
You
Huh?
You can do magic too?
Sure can. Summon my mage hand and make it wave at her.
I've only seen the namer do magic before.
The namer? Who's the namer?
Oh, he lives up in the hell.
Why is he called the namer?
Because your name.
Did he give you your name? Ari?
Oh. Ari's my home name.
So you have 2 names.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to share your other one, or is that personal? Is that something you don't share? with
No,
other
no.
people?
It's just you use it more for formal things, or if you do something, more important with your life than.
Would that be your adventurer name?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's hear it. What is it?
And Selena.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna need you to spell that one.
Ian is not happy hearing this story. It looks like as soon as they start talking about names, he's got like a scowl on his face. And he's just quietly listening, but looks a little disturbed when she mentioned that she received a name from this person.
Yeah. And you see she spells it out very childlike. Ancelina.
Cel. And Selena. Oh, if that isn't a name of an adventurer, I don't know what is. Oh, my name is Saskia, by the way. You can call me Sass for short if you'd like.
Sass. You hold a hand out. Shake your hand.
I make my mage hand shake her hand.
Oh. It feels like jelly.
Yeah. Well, here. Fear and fix your face.
Fear shakes off his scowl and leans down, or gets a little closer to the kid and says, "When one gives you a name, it is a sign of respect. You must treat yourself as a warrior when you use that name.
Guess
Do
which
not
my
disappoint your family."
And Selena the warrior.
Fuck yeah. Heck yeah.
Top destroyer.
From Billowgrass. And Selena of Billowgrass.
Yeah. And she does start waving the sword.
All right. Gentle.
Shoom. Oh,
It definitely works better if you make the noises.
it's so heavy.
Yeah, you get used to it. Here. Don't tell your mother. And I'm gonna take my sword back, and I'm gonna pull out a little dagger that I have.
Whoa! I put her hand down and I reach into my pack, and instead of a dagger, I pull out a piton, like a little stake that you use for tents. It's like a little less dangerous.
All right.
Suddenly, their town is like, can adventurers come and get rid of this sass person? She's giving all of our children knives and telling them that they can be great destroyers, or heroes, or warriors.
Oh man.
She does take the piton, and kind of like.
I hold it in my hand before as
Okay,
she's holding it, and I say, "Training. That is how you will become a great warrior. You take this and you swing it every day, and eventually you'll grow strong and it won't feel as heavy. Then maybe your mother will let you try it with something larger. And then maybe someday you'll get something like this." And I summon my great sword.
And you see, like she, Like when you like didn't let go of the pit, and when she grabbed it, she kind of gave a little bit of a bratty face at that point, and then she did start to get a little like bored looking as you were saying all of this, and then like she started to pick it up as you started to talk more. She's like, yeah, and then you summon the sword, and she's like, yes.
Green flame blade.
And she's
All
like,
right, fair.
oh.
All right, fair.
Oh, Crescent Heart, I've never seen. I didn't know they were swords could be that big. All covered in fire.
Fair. A warrior's name should come with a piton like that, right? Right? Giving him a very knowing glance that I don't know that he'll pick up on.
I'm not sure what that question was.
I think she's trying to get you to give her a friendly name.
Yes, because like, yeah.
Fearn says, "She has not earned the right," and then puts his sword away.
Okay, well, you don't need to be so fucking blunt about it.
And then you like look Sass, and she doesn't care at all about what you
All
what you all just said. She's just swinging this piton around now on top of her horse.
Well, Ari, it's getting late. You should probably go back to your mum. Yeah.
Fine.
Happy to talk with you tomorrow, though. Maybe we can do a little training.
Oh. Okay. And you see she pulls the horse, and it starts to walk back. And you see the entire time she's walking back, she's just... and then you just hear her shout back, "Thank you!"
You're welcome. Sweet little thing.
Fearn sits down back down next to Saskia and says, "A friendly name is something that is gifted upon a warrior for showing great prowess.
Did you
Or
give me mine right
completing a
after a
deed.
battle? I thought you just gave it to me right away. I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
I saw that you were a capable adventurer, that you knew how to handle yourself. And you earned my respect. That's why you were given one. This child, she may be brave and confident, but she's not done anything to deserve the name she has been given. And those who would give her a name so early without acknowledging her abilities are putting these children in danger."
I see your point, but I disagree. I think some children need that. They need someone to believe in them, you know? They need someone to give them that spark. To help them become who they want to be. But I understand your point. Go sleep, I'll finish this watch.
I don't disagree with you. I just think your culture is strange, and this
Think yours is
namer were to
strange.
do something where I came from, there would be hell to pay.
Right, but we're not where you're from. So let's try and give them a little respect until we know more. Yeah?
I suppose so. Wake me up when it's my watch.
You got it. Good night, Sal.
You just hear kind of like this, like just... And it's just like the parts move, and he seems like he was already in like a deactivated mode, and then he just kind of...
Oh, sorry. sorry.
And you finish your watch. Sass, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, you got it, boss. 16.
Okay. You towards the end of your watch, when things get slower and you really are like, I don't think anything's gonna happen.
Mhm.
You start to think about your name.
Mm.
You can start saying it over and over again in your head.
Saskia.
It just sounds so hollow, so empty.
Have I ever felt like that before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Frequently.
Hmm.
And you start to think, how did I get this name?
If I try and think about my parents or whoever, or the people who would have given me this name, do I remember?
Give me a insight check. Or insight or...
I already rolled insight.
Okay.
17.
No. You don't remember how you got this name? Or you don't have any memory of someone explaining what your name means or why they chose that name? You think hard on it, and it's almost as if you just called yourself that one day.
Huh. That's strange.
It's time to wake up, Fear.
Yeah, Fear, when I go to wake you up, I'll, like, I'm not my, like, usual, like, fun self. I've been thinking about this for the past, I'll say, like, hour. And so I kind of just, like, shake your shoulder and, like, I'm not looking at you when you open your eyes, but I'm just kind of, like, brow is furrowed and, like, just, like, staring off into the distance.
Fearn gets up silently. Maybe just waits a few minutes to see if you say something to him. And I say, "You all right?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you know how you got your name, Fearn? Do you remember who gave it to you?
I believe it's traditional. My father thought of it. But the way I got my friendly name, it's a long story.
I was more interested in your Fearn, that name, but I am interested to hear that story, your White Eye story, just not right now, I'm tired.
It was a name passed down in my clan. Many have used it in the past. There's been the Ferocious Fearn, the Flayer Fearn.
What are you?
I am Fearn White Eye Valheim.
No adjective before it, though?
Not all friendly names are just adjectives.
Alright. I was just curious, we were talking about names and all, and it's got me thinking. Nothing was going on, pretty quiet. I'm gonna go sleep and wake me up if there's something going on, yeah?
Why do you ask? Don't most people get their names from their parents?
I was just thinking. Good night, Fearn.
And as she goes and wraps herself up in her cloak, Fear, you can give me a perception check for your watch.
Already did. Got a dirty 20.
30-20, okay. You don't notice anyone leaving or going anywhere. It's incredibly quiet. The only thing you notice is that from the window of Alicia's home, you see the 14-year-old girl, Portents, watching you from the window. Just watching, like, from behind a curtain, just staring, and if you were to look at her, she again would close the curtain.
She's up late.
Yeah. But she is. Yeah, it's noticeably she is up you know, it's probably like, truthfully, at this point, it's probably like 4 in the morning or so. But as soon as you catch her, she would flee back inside or close the curtain.
I think Fionn would probably spend the night on patrol.
Mhm.
Like he wouldn't stay still in the stables. He'd most likely be, within 10 feet of, the building at all times. But he would, walk around,
Walk about.
take a quick look at like all the different areas, sit
Mhm.
down in one part and then move and look at another part, just so he can check all, like, have a good range of motion. If
Yeah.
he feels up to it, not too tired, maybe he'll exercise a little bit. But if that kid keeps doing it for, a long period of time, he might try to mess with her a little.
It's as you kind of like do a quick patrol around, and you come back towards the cart and you look and you see she's probably too scared or shy to continue watching, so you don't see her again. And maybe you were even like kind of, maybe a small part of you was hoping to see her so you can mess with her a little bit. It's at this point that you just sort of feel this strong breeze rush through the town. And maybe you're like standing at that road where the pavilion and that house are. And you look up from where the wind is coming from. You know, it's coming from the southwest, the opposite side of town, and just sort of brushes through you and up this hill, and you can hear all those kites kind of go up into the air, and you can hear the chiming of wind chimes throughout that forest back there behind the cottage, as this wind just sort of sweeps through. And at first it just feels nice, but then it's very powerful, and for a moment you might even feel a spirit within that wind as it blows through.
As that wind hits me, I close my eyes and stand there, feeling it like rushed past my body, and after a particularly large breeze, I believe he would just take a praying stance and just mutter a soft prayer to himself or to the spirit, greeting it and asking for its guidance.
And you can see the wind sort of whips up through into the trees and the forest and the chimes, and kind of almost circles back and passes through you again from behind, and then kind of swirls around you for a moment. You can now sort of see sort of like this bluish hue to the wind, almost as if there's a bluish cloud moving through it, and then it just dissipates in that moment. And everything settles again.
I'm gonna look in the direction that the wind was blowing me when it made itself known. Like, what is in that direction?
In that direction, that is the direction that that Alicia would have said the Davin farm is.
Where the previous victim was?
Where yes, the one who is still alive, who hasn't passed away yet.
I would run back to the stables and nudge awake Saskia.
What? What? It can't be time already. I just fucking fell asleep.
Right. I'm sorry to wake you up early.
What's the matter?
Something strange is going on.
Okay. I need more details.
I felt a feeling on the wind. I think that something strange is happening, and I want to go investigate.
Okay. We should get the others as well, just in case it's something bigger. Do you want to? You go get it. I'm not awake yet. Go get them. I need to do some jumping jacks or something.
All right. I go and I
Whoa.
find.
Yeah, you can easily enough go upstairs, and you know where it is, and you can bang on their doors to wake them up and see how they feel about it. Whose door do you go to first?
I'm gonna go to Septimus's door first.
Okay. You just bang on the door, knock on it.
3 loud knocks. That's it. Actually, I'm gonna just like 1, 2, 3 on his door, and then go to the next door and just do 1, 2, 3. So you might hear an extra reverberation of 3 knocks down the hall.
Bam, 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 bam on all of your doors.
Yeah. Fearn, is everything all right?
I hope so.
It's not light out. Why are you waking us up?
Yeah.
I
Jesus.
sense something, and I think something's going wrong. The spirits want me to investigate Davin's home. Now.
What do you
I
mean?
said that the spirits, they made their presence aware, and they want me to go check it out.
Fear. Look, that's called a dream. They happen when you're sleeping, and you play something out, and you create it all an image, and something happens.
It wasn't a dream. I was awake. I was on guard.
What makes you think that this premonition wanted you to go now?
Well, the spirit called to me. Why would it do that if it wasn't urgent?
Probably to mess with you.
Do I feel anything outside, Sean, as he's doing this?
Sass, you would feel that same breeze moving about, kind of moving through the trees. You hear the chimes of the wind chimes. It does like have this like off-putting blue color to it, as you see kind of this almost like a cloud being dispersed.
Blue, like the blue of the eyes.
Yeah, and then you can see it kind of like, and then it heads back up towards the southwest road, which is the direction that she said the Davin farm was.
Look, you don't need to come with me, but I felt like it was right to alert you all. If you want to go back to bed, fine, but I'm gonna go check this out.
Wait. No, we don't just go running off by ourselves to go do things, Fionn, okay? If we're gonna be a team, we have to be a team. And you have to let your teammates get enough sleep. But
What are you going to say to this family? You're gonna come barging through the door in the middle of the night as some outsider. You're gonna scare the hell out of them. You don't think that you can at least wait till the morning?
Outside, the breeze stops, settles.
Fionn would say, I would rather take that risk and embarrass myself than be too late and regret it. I listen to the spirits. They don't steer me wrong.
Well, as much as I'd love to see you eat those words, I still feel...
I stick my head in the hallway. Are you coming or not? Can I go back to sleep, or are we fucking going? It stopped, and it looked like it was going up the road where we were gonna go tomorrow.
Wait. Sass, you saw something?
Yeah. Didn't he tell you what he was talking about?
Yeah, but I thought it was bullshit.
Right.
Okay. Wait.
No, there was a fucking blue breeze. It looks like the wind looked blue, like the color of the eyes of the people. And it settled. It's done now, which makes me think that if it was a spirit or something in there, it went, and there's something going on at that house. I think we should go.
All right. Now it's a little bit more plausible.
Farron, what the fuck were you saying? Why are we not like going right now?
I don't know. These guys are crazy. They don't believe me about anything that I tell them.
I just
Jacquet
thought
starts to grab his stuff to go out the door. He's like putting on his gear. He's like, okay. Yeah, I guess it makes sense that, the spirit boy would be seeing spirits. Let's go. He puts on some like vamp braces or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Side note, I saw a really awesome homebrew item that I wanted to give to Jacquet because it was cool, which was just these van braces that just like a dagger is hidden in it, and they're Assassin's Creed van braces.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hey man, if they just happen to be on the side of the road.
Everyone gets a new weapon just on the side of the road. No. So you all head outside to get ready to at least go up. It's not like this is not like days travel where this farm is. It's only a couple miles up the road.
And about what time of night is it, or morning?
It's around I would say it's around 4 a.m. So
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean like technically speaking, I did do 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So I would say 3 of you can be somewhat rested. At least in the sense if you have done a long rest, you might still be tired in character.
The only one who had an interrupted sleep was Saskia.
Yeah, Fear, and you could have gotten a short rest. I know you guys didn't expend that much the day before, but
Yeah. Should I do a the fuck's it called? Con check for being tired?
no, you don't have to.
Okay.
When you all step outside though, and kind of like put your backpacks on, you can hear the crickets outside. You can actually hear some birds chirping. You hear a tearing sound. And you look up towards the cottage and you see one of the kites rips off and flies.
I wonder what name was on that.
And Silver, it's Davin. Come on, come on, right? Like, this is straight out of one of my books, I swear.
That's a dark omen.
I don't know what you guys were looking at.
I think it's just a coincidence. But let's keep going, Fern. You can take the lead here. And you know what? This is good. This is a long time coming. You get to see that the spirits are bullshit.
Yeah, Jacquet kind of side eyes over at Septimus, like, where is this coming from?
Right?
This struck a nerve with Septimus.
All right, lead on, spirit boy.
You all begin to hike down the southwest road, and that's where we're going to take a break. All right, folks, we will be back in 5 or so minutes, so please stick around and see as they do this early morning walk to this family's home. Check on Davin, the farmer.
Devin.
Devin. All right.
Devins.
We'll see y'all soon. Oh, it didn't work when I pressed the button. Welcome back, everyone, to Adrift in Aldhalor. You're welcome. Our party has arrived in Billowgrass and made their resting place, the little tavern called The Home, attached to a pavilion called the Windy Mercato, where they have met, my friend keeps wanting to say a different name, Alicia and her 2 daughters. And they've spoken a little bit to them to find out some information about the sickness that has been happening in the area for the last year, that has kind of reached a peak at this time. They learned about someone who is actively still sick a couple miles down the road named Davin, who lived with his sister, as well as someone up in the northwest or northeast road that their son has recently passed away from the sickness. During their watch, Fionn experienced a phenomena of this spiritual wind that had this bluish glow to it flow through the streets and up towards the cottage with the kites. he went to wake everyone up to say something's going on. And then everyone was like, what? No, nothing's going on. And then Sass corroborated the story, and they were like, why didn't you say so? And now they're heading out up the road after Septimus gave a little spicy comment calling the spirits bullshit. So, you're walking up the road. Is there anything you want to do before getting there, or are you just heading straight there? Any preparation or
Fear's
discussion?
going.
Okay.
I mean, as he's.
While you're walking.
Is it okay? It's a walking scenario. I would say that it's the sort of thing where Fear's trying to like rush people along. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Are we bringing Sal?
No.
Good question.
Okay.
Very good question.
Then when we're preparing to leave, Jacquette will go. Septimus, aren't we forgetting someone?
I'm not concerned that there's going to be any danger, so I think Sal can remain.
Sure, but you know how we tend to do things, right? We start with just like a simple investigation, and then all of a sudden we're killing a pirate captain. You know, it's
It's
things
also
escalate.
Listen, it's true, but I'm still nervous that we're going to spook the hell out of these poor farmers that see 5 disturbed travelers. I think a big, giant mechanical automaton is going to make it even worse.
Go big or go home, but hey, he's your buddy, not mine. Just thought I'd bring it up.
Also, we better not, decapitate anymore.
Yeah, I thought we discussed that we're not going to try to escalate the situation like that anymore.
Yeah, we did. So do we want to appoint a point person who...
Let
Fearon's already
Septimus do the
walking
talking.
away.
No,
Wait,
it's
Fearon-
okay.
or
Fearon,
not- Yeah, Fearon's walking.
Fearon has his suspicions. He can lead on.
Septimus, if I'm not trying to make this get violent, I just feel like the spirits told me that something might be wrong. We're just gonna check up on things. If everything seems fine, then we can go back and go. You can go back to bed. All right?
As I expect I will.
Okay. Go ahead.
So yeah, I'm basically like doing like a light jog almost.
I would still follow suit just to stay with the party. I'm not going to be.
Jacquette is constantly going,
Petty.
slow down. My body's not used. I can't move that quickly, Fearon. Slow down.
Says the fastest member of the party.
The most lazy.
True.
Fair enough.
Very lazy cat. Okay, so you are all heading up. It's a couple miles, so it is going to take a little bit to get there, but not so long. When you get to the farm, it's very dark out here. You can see up the road there is a small house. The only real reason you can see it is because you do see the small flicker of a light on there. It's the first light you've seen as you've been walking up this road. You can presume that you've roughly reached the area. The house is about 70 or 80 feet off the road. You find the dirt path, and you do actually find a sign that is for the farm, and kind of a nice little vestibule fence area that leads up this road, and you can head up that road. And you are approaching the house. Does anyone want to do any kind of perception checks or anything like that?
Yes, please.
Sure.
I think Jacquette would be perceiving, but he'd also might start to slink off to the side and try to remain out of view.
Sure. Do you want to do a stealth check also?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, excellent.
I'm distracted.
Ian rolls are on fire today.
Mine are not.
I got a nat 20.
And what's the total for it?
22.
Very nice.
Okay. Sass, what'd you get?
9. I'm still
I was about
thinking
to say
about
another
the
zero.
names. No.
Anyone else?
Jacquette got a 6. And then a 23 on stealth.
Nice.
I'm gonna roll, but I'm gonna roll with disadvantage because I doubt Bruce is really paying attention.
Septimus is
Yeah, I guess-
convinced nothing is gonna happen right now, so no.
Well, really, shouldn't most of us be at disadvantage because it's nighttime out?
Not for people who have
Dark
double
vision.
sight.
Don't you all have dark vision
Dark
besides
vision
me?
doesn't-
Dark vision technically gives you disadvantage, which is a very
Disadvantage.
good point.
Really?
Kieran.
Yes,
Not Kieran,
no.
sorry.
Nah.
Excuse you.
I did say when we started this campaign, I wanted to hold true to the true dark vision rules.
Yeah.
So
yeah, only Sask would
yes,
not
that is
be
true.
afflicted. I rolled a
but I
nat one,
still-
so it
I
doesn't
rolled
matter.
like shit.
Yes, unless you say you're only listening and just trying to do like through sound, but it. Fearn, if you want to re-roll that, or roll again,
Sorry.
and if you get another nat
No,
20.
I mean, if you're saying I'm rolling at disadvantage, I'd rather take my nat 20. Like, why would I roll? I already got the highest number.
Because you're disadvantaged, not
Because you're
advantaged.
disadvantaged.
Yeah.
Oh, I am. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I was just
Septimus, you said you're
confused.
not rolling because you're just kind of like, this is bullshit. I'm just gonna watch.
My second roll was a 19.
Yeah, no,
shot.
I'm
Okay, so
Nice.
good. The 21,
On
right?
fire.
Proud of you.
No.
roll.
It's 19 total. So it was
Oh,
17
okay.
plus.
Okay.
also I'm gonna
Bill,
save myself the
On
embarrassment.
fire.
Bruce, did you want to do a disadvantaged one?
Oh, I did. I got an 8.
8. Excellent. All right, I love it. Love it.
And Bruce is just like listening, and everything
Yeah.
else is a blur.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Basically, you're just seeing grass and fence, Bruce. Okay, so you, Fearn, you'd really be the only one, and it makes sense given your hypervigilance here. You would hear commotion inside, like someone is like. It sounds a bit like a struggle.
When I hear that, I break off into a sprint.
Okay. Do you say anything to the group as you just run off towards the house? I imagine.
I say something in a low, like a hushed tone. Something's wrong, and I go off.
I go off after him. I'm running
Wait.
too.
Wait. Oh my god. Jesus. Actually, sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh.
It's at that moment you also all look around and Jacquette's nowhere to be seen.
I would love to imagine like everybody sprints off and then Bruce like trips over a branch and then like is lost because he doesn't know where
And then
everybody
he
went.
feels
No,
like
no.
I'm
oh,
still
like
next-
a soft.
I'd still be next to
hand.
you.
Okay.
Septimus would have
Yeah.
run away. He's still next to you.
But what I think was also funny about Bruce is anytime like Bruce would be the only one who could really ever tell for sure when as long as his goggles are on, when Jacquette sneaks away, because he would at least see Jacquette sneak away for 30 feet.
Yeah.
So I think that's also kind of funny, and something to keep in mind is that, like, Bruce, if you have the goggles on, you would notice Jacquette kind of slink off. You don't know necessarily what he's doing, obviously, but once he's out of that 30 feet, he's
Right up there. There
yeah,
he goes.
yeah. All right.
Not again.
Not
Just
as
because of the tremor sense.
Or are you?
Unless Jacquette
Or
gets
am
boots
I?
of Elvenkind.
Mama Bruce.
Ooh. As
Okay,
I'm running,
so you
I'm,
two are sprinting.
yeah, and I'm like whisper shouting, "Fear, slow the fuck down! Wait!"
I hear a
Wait.
commotion. Something could be going on.
Yeah, okay, but we just left the others in the dust.
There's no time. They don't believe me.
And I just keep running after him.
Okay. So what do you see? You get up to the farm. You can see the light is coming from one of the front windows, and it looks like it's just a very low lit lantern, just bright enough to see from the road. And you can hear, once you get closer, Sass, you can start to hear the commotion inside. And it sounds like someone is holding someone as
Mhm.
they're kind of
Yeah.
thrashing.
Yep.
And you start to hear very low voices talking.
Yep.
You would need to do a perception check a new perception check based just on hearing to actually hear what the voices are saying. And I mean, if this is also like you're not going to hear much if you kick the door down.
Yeah, well, that's why I was like, Fear, wait a minute. I think it has to do with the sickness. Just slow the fuck down and let me listen.
I nod at her without saying a word.
Okay.
So listening. 19.
19. Okay. You hear a woman talking and a man talking. And you hear the general sounds of someone like and you hear one person say one person basically said like whispers very like strongly. And this is another man, so you hear three voices. I can't hold him all night. And you hear the other person say, if she would just make a decision, wouldn't have to. And then you hear the woman crying, and she's just like, I don't understand. What do you mean you have this? It's a cure.
How far behind are the others?
I mean, you guys, you guys were halfway up the road, so I'd say they're about 20 feet away from you, and you are about 15 feet from the house, or more like 10 feet from the house. Like you're basically like in the bushes out front.
Okay.
I'll say, just for the purposes of us approaching them, when I see them stop and kind of just like waiting outside, Septimus would like to attempt to at least just stealth up to them, as to like not.
I would
Yeah.
Cause any like have them hear anything, because Septimus doesn't want to be here or like get caught by these people.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth check. It seems as though they were, whatever their conversation was going on, is concealing a lot of the noise that you all are making.
15.
I also probably would be following Septimus, or as best as Bruce can.
Totally. Give me a stealth check as well. Septimus, what was your stealth check?
No.
15.
15?
Oh,
Okay.
Brucey. Oh, Brucey.
Bruce, what'd you get?
9.
9. Okay.
He's
And
trying his best, guys.
Jacques, you're obviously out there already stealthed.
Right.
And you can see you can see the silhouettes of your friends where they are.
Oh, he gone.
You can especially see Bruce. But
He just starts to glow a little.
yeah, somehow he rolled such a low stealth roll that fairy fire was cast on him. No, Bruce, I'll say as you all are approaching, you kind of like ducking down near the front bushes of the house. This is a fairly, it's actually a decent sized house. But you're like at like think you're walking up the front like sidewalk of the house towards it. Bruce, you kind of like trip a little and like fall into the bush a little bit, and it makes a rattling noise, and like you're able to stabilize yourself and kind of get down and out of sight. And Sass, especially with your dark vision, and actually really anyone else who's looking, because this person's not exactly trying to hide, you see someone peek out the window. Look out.
At that moment, Fionn is just he's like already at the door, I'm assuming.
If you stopped with Sass, you wouldn't be right at the door.
We're at the
you'd be at 10
bushes.
feet from the door.
Yeah.
I would immediately walk up to the door and
Fionn.
start like hitting the door loudly,
Oh my God.
just knocking on it.
And I'm just like in the bushes, just like trying to wait for them, but also like don't want him to be by himself. And
There's a little bit of commotion and whispering inside. Sass, with that same roll you had a moment ago, you would hear the two men talking to each other. And then, Fionn, you would hear the door knob twist and pull. You could see the face of a man looking out. And the man just goes, "Awfully late for a visit. What are you doing here?"
I could ask you the same thing. I
Who are
heard
you?
commotion. I came to investigate. I'm from Hyven. I've come to investigate
Oh,
the
motherfucker.
the situation with the disease that's been going around.
Could you come back in the morning? Yes, my cousin is sick here, but it's late. We need rest.
I heard you from outside. It sounded like you were distressed. Do you need my assistance?
No, no, no. He had an episode. We've gotten him calmed down now.
Can I hear, or did he actually calm down?
You give me a perception check.
Six.
As soon as he sees Fearn, by the way, just talk to the guy at the front door. Septimus will just try to hide.
Yeah, I mean, you could all hear like the conversation Fearn is having. That you can all hear. Jacques.
Bruce probably just is gonna just stay in the bushes.
Yeah, and instead of just
As soon as you fell, you're just like, I'm not moving.
not worth it. Jacques.
Jacquet would be sneaking up to the side of the house to kind of peek in through one of the side, a side
absolutely.
window. Not
Yeah,
the
so
front.
they're at the front, so you could definitely sneak to the side and look through the window there. I imagine you were doing this as this conversation is happening, so you can go ahead and give me a perception check looking in.
I got a 6, Sean. for my
While that's
perception
happening,
checks. Check.
I say, it's one of these episodes that I'm interested in witnessing. You see, I need to understand what's happening to these people if we're to do anything to help them. I hope that, I know this is, inconvenient for you, and you probably had a rough night as is, but if you could show some kindness and just let me have some peace of mind by inspecting your cousin or whoever it is that was afflicted, I'll be on my way.
And you see he kind of looks you up and down through the crack of the door, and then kind of looks back inside. Jacques, what'd you get on your stealth or perception?
16.
16. Yeah, you can definitely see what's going on through this window, and you can see this is actually a side room that you're looking through, and you can see like one into the room, and then through the door where you can see this man actually at the door, and he's looking back, and you can see he's looking into this room, and you can see the other guy is there, and he is like pushing this man who is sort of like shaking onto the bed and like trying to like restrain him and put him down on the bed. You can see he's trying to tie his wrists to the banisters of the bed. As you can see, this woman sitting in just like a chair behind the man at the front. She's shaking. The lantern's right next to her, so you can see her face more clearly than the other two. And she's crying and seems distressed. That's what you see with the 16.
Sean.
Yes.
In the bush that I'm in.
Yes.
How far am I away from the house?
You are close enough to be able to see this with your goggles. If you
All right.
want to activate those, if they're not already activated.
Yeah, they can't really see in the dark, and yeah. So
Yes, actually,
yeah.
You would definitely see. You wouldn't see her necessarily. Well, actually, no, 30 feet you would. You'd be able to get a pretty good glimpse of this front hallway where they are. So you can see the man standing there. You can see the woman shaking and crying in the chair behind him at a small table, and then you can see kind of a small hallway that then leads into this small bedroom where you can see this man is currently trying to tie the erratic man down. And you, since you can get a little bit more detail with the tremor sense, can see that the man has been like gagged. Like that's why you're not hearing him like shouting or screaming or anything like that.
And the man that is gagged, is it a man or a boy?
So they're probably like 19, 20.
Okay.
I guess
A man boy.
A man boy, yeah, like someone who would be a young man who maybe lives with his sister on a farm alone with together.
Can I see from the window his eyes?
With a 16, I would say you're having some trouble getting a clear look at his eyes.
Okay, that's fine.
Right now. Yeah.
I would like to also just, as a note Bruce would probably do his best to message Septimus with his little antenna copper
Yeah.
wire.
You can definitely do that. So
And
yeah,
while pathetically laying in his bush.
yeah. So as he's pathetically laying in
like
the bush,
VR goggles on, you know.
That's so true. You really are just living with VR goggles. But yeah, you're definitely able to relay that information directly to Septimus.
That he's being bound and gagged.
That there's another man in there who is binding and gagging the other, who you may presume is Davin, in there.
Okay, I can respond to him, right?
Yes.
One within certain
One
words.
yeah, one message. Yeah, there's not a word count on it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. It's our suspicions. Well, not even suspicions. It's exactly what Ilvania told us was going on. That the man was sick. You heard them though. This is nothing out of ordinary.
Right. I thought you might want to know what's going on inside.
No.
He's being being gagged inside.
Sorry.
Apologize for my crassness. I lost myself there. You're all right. But I feel like it's nothing we would have missed if we had come later.
Sass, you can do one thing, and then I'm gonna jump back to fear and talking.
Yeah. I wanted to look back and not seeing anybody else because they all fucking disappeared. I'm just gonna say
Septimus is still there.
Oh,
because you're both kind of hiding in the same spot.
Okay. So are we close enough that we can talk?
Yeah, like imagine Fearn's at the front door, about 8 or 10 feet away is the bushes where you are all kind of clustered down low there.
Yeah.
Bruce in the bushes.
Yeah. Okay. I wish you would fucking take a second and just wait. He just walked up to the door. I don't know what to do. Do I go and pretend that I'm his investigative partner and just apologize for his behavior? What do we do?
I think he needs to learn to take a step back. So let him just feel this out.
Back at the door, the man is looking down the hallway. And I'll say cross-cutting here, Jacquette, you can see, while this is happening, you can see that the man has successfully tied Davin to the bed, or presumed Davin, and then he looks back and he seems to look to the woman, and both Jacquette and Bruce, with his tremor sense, would be able to see the man go, put his finger to his lips to the woman, and then looks back, says, "Just a moment. You can see him, and then you leave. We need our rest. We've just gotten him into the bed. We had to tie him down. These episodes can get quite violent. So you can look to see for a moment. Then please leave us. You're right, it has been a difficult night, and we need our rest. His poor sister has been crying."
I will not take up any more of your time than I have to. I apologize once again for this interruption, but the spirits have guided me here, and I feel that it is my duty to make sure that everyone remains safe tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I promise I will try to be respectful.
And by the way, for those of you who are kind of watching, and for you, Fearn, actually pretty much everyone, you can see, I'll give you a description of what this guy looks like. He is a human. He does wear kind of darker tunic over some rather plain clothes, really. He's not wearing armor or anything like that. Bruce, with your tremor sense, you could definitely clock that he does have a dagger on him. It seems to be in the back, kind of belt area, in a small sheath, somewhat concealed. He has the most prominent features that he has are these really verdant green eyes, and he has somewhat of a knobby, long nose and a very thin, sallow face with very thin, dirty blonde hair. He's very similar to the Wooden Eye pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean. Like he has that kind of like thin, ratty appearance. Not the rat from the Fighting Fits, but and then for you, Jacquette, and you, Bruce, you can see the man inside is a little bit stronger looking. He's a little bit more muscular. Not as big as Fearn, but still tall and quite fit. He has shaggy black hair. I mean, Bruce, you don't know the colors, but shaggy black hair that is held back in a ponytail. That's pretty long, actually. It's very long hair. Very thick caterpillar eyebrows, and a very weak chin that is concealed by patchy facial hair. He also has a dagger in his back, in a back sheath. So, the green-eyed man looks to you, Fearn, and opens the door, and gestures for you to step inside.
I do just that. I ask him what is the victim's name?
His name is Davin. Right down the hall. He points down the hall to the bedroom. My brother is in there with him. I had to restrain him. We're visiting because of the sickness, to see him and help our cousins out. Come this way. And he points towards the hall, or towards the bedroom.
I'm gonna just alter my antenna towards Fearn, and and just so you know, the two guys there have daggers sheathed behind their back.
If I could message back to him and
You
say,
can.
I'm not afraid.
So you walk to the bedroom?
Yep. Do I pass the woman who is crying, or is
You
that
would
in
see
another
her.
room?
Like she's so like where the man is standing and the door, like she's directly behind him, sitting down, and he is like somewhat standing between you and her.
There was a brief hesitation when I looked at her. I just want to clock her face, see who.
She has a 1,000-yard stare right now. You can see that like some disassociation has kicked in at this point from this experience, but she does have tears, as he said. She looks very tired.
I don't stop to talk to her. I just keep going ahead.
Yep, and the man stays behind you. And those of you outside, no, really just Bruce, you can see the man walking behind Fearn, and he doesn't draw it, but he just has his dagger, a hand on his dagger ready as he's behind Fearn. Doesn't necessarily look like he's about to attack him. It might be precautionary. It might, but you're not sure. But he does have a hand on that dagger.
Septimus, I
Fearn
don't
is
like
aware,
this.
but he doesn't like. Fearn looks unarmed at this point.
That's, and if you add weapons, they might be a little more aggressive, but yes, Bruce, you clock that the guy is following behind him with his hand on the dagger.
Jen, I didn't hear what you said.
I just said, Septimus, I don't like this. He's in there by himself. What if something that I could hear the conversation? It didn't he said that one person said something like she needs to make a decision. It sounded like that they were trying to decide whether or not to kill this man, the sick man. And I don't think we should just sit here. Whether or not it's about teaching Fearn a lesson. I don't think this is the place to do it.
We don't know the full story, though.
But they could be in danger. Exactly. We need to go
That's
get the
not
full
our-
story.
But Septimus kind of just like shakes his head and just like.
Fearn's gonna inspect the body, I guess, or he's gonna inspect
Yeah, you can see, without even an investigation, you can see all the symptoms that people have talked about. The blue eyes, the man is gagged. You can see he does have kind of these claw marks. He's sopping wet with sweat and a fever. He is tied up right now, and he's not thrashing as much as you might expect. He's almost languishing. And you can see the big man, the supposed cousin, looks to you and says, "Madness is setting. Not really there anymore, I don't think. I had to tie him down so he didn't attack his sister."
These scratches. Did he tell you when he got them? Have you heard any stories of what could have caused this? And I also
can't even speak. What do you want to do while you're doing that?
I want to take a very close look because I've mostly everything I know about medicine and nature has come from giant beasts ripping into people.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this would be like the very niche part of nature that I would be good at.
Okay, go ahead and give me you say you want to do a nature check or investigation or perception?
I mean, what type of slash does this look like?
These look I don't need no roll needed. These look self-inflicted, like someone scratching at their own skin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you said it was on their back. I assumed that it was like some sort of like.
No, I should be more clear about it. No, it's very much so looks like they are clawing at their own skin, either scratching really aggressively or even more violently clawing at their own skin.
I believe that it may have passed. But if you wouldn't be opposed to it, I would like to try something to perhaps ease his struggles. It won't hurt him in any way.
By the way, Jacquette, you can definitely hear this conversation happening. And you see the guy looks past you and to his brother, who nods. And he goes, "Nothing too fancy. Something quick. We need to get our rest. We just gotten down. We best not wake him back up."
As soon as he said nothing too, fancy, I quickly reach into my pouch and I pull out flex of a giant chainsaw.
We must cut out the infected part, the whole body.
The wounds begin to fester.
We must save the bones.
I take out a small package of powdered silver and iron, and I take some of it into my hand and spread it around, not in the wound, but around the wounds. Mm-hmm. And I cast Protection from Evil and Good, which, Sean, says that the target cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed by certain types of creatures, aberrations, celestials, elementals, fays, fiends, and undead for 10 minutes.
What's the list again?
Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. I believe that we had a previous conversation about one of those things. Like, was it aberrations?
We added aberrations. No, we added aberrations to any of the spells because I put so many in the game.
Okay, this was already
you think you're on for that.
His favorite anime.
So as you cast this, you do see the eyes are no longer blue. And he does seem to calm down. The sweat remains and the fever remains, but the eyes turn away. And the languishing is less like the languishing had like some like jerks, violent jerks, and now he's just sort of like languishing as if he's still like uncomfortable, as there's still something wrong with him, but the blue of the eyes has gone away.
I immediately like take his head in my hand and like peel his like eyelid open so his eye is like visible and showing that blue sclera has been cleared, and I point to it and I look at the others and say, I think it might be working. Do you see this?
You see the two men look at each other, and then back to you, and you can see the woman immediately gets up and rushes into the room. You see the green-eyed man for a moment almost grabs her, but stops himself and looks at you, and then she runs over and she's just sort of by his side now and wiping the sweat from and hair out of his eyes, and she just looks up at you and says, what did you do? Did you heal him? Did you cure it?
I casted a charm. It prevents the interference of dark spirits, but its duration is limited. I can't guarantee that it is a permanent solution, but it seems to have given him some respite.
And she just smiles and is looking at her brother, as you hear the green-eyed man say, "Oh, we appreciate what you've done for our family. With this respite for our cousin, we can rest for a bit as well. Thank you, friend. I'll have to ask you to leave. Maybe return tomorrow."
I stand and I say, I would be grateful for your hospitality tomorrow. I'm sorry I was intruding, but I felt like this was important. If you need me, anything else happens tonight, I'll be at the inn down the hill.
Of course. Jack, what?
Can I insight check when he was talking about like family and stuff like that? Make sure that, it seems like he's actually family.
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Oh, 24, BB.
Not a chance.
Great.
Has the woman spoke to me at all, or is she just rushed to this person's
She's
side?
rushed to this person's side, and I think as you're leaving, she does rush up to you, and she does kind of just like grab your hands in hers, cupping them, and just says, thank you, please come back tomorrow.
I will. Are you okay, miss?
I am now. She still looks distressed, though, like even as she says that.
And I'm assuming that little eye gesture you just did was her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Can
I
Sass, real quick.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I
know we're jumping around.
Yeah, I know. It's all happening simultaneously, but I love it. I love it. That's the vibe of the moment. Septimus, I can't stay here. I can't stay here anymore. I have to see what's going on. So they could be in danger. I'm going. Are you coming with me?
No.
Fucking coward. And I go.
I imagine Fear like opens the door to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
basically,
exactly what I
yeah,
wanted to happen.
exactly.
Yeah. And I want to see, is the woman there with him at the door?
No.
Okay.
She is, after Fearn stepped away, she would have rushed to her brother's side still. The man is behind Fearn, the green eyes.
Okay, man with the green eyes. On a vibe check.
What are you looking
Please.
for?
What am I looking for?
Sean, how many locks are on the door?
1.
I'm looking for malintent, Sean.
Guys, I've already done the insight. Don't worry, I'm going to get you all. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Sass, I think you heard the conversation. Like, you don't even need to look. Like, you heard the conversation. They
Right.
were not friendly with
Yeah.
her there. I mean, it does seem like, you know, the guy does seem a little spooked now that Fearn is here.
So I'll just I don't want to take too long. So I'll just like as Fearn opens the door to come out, like I'm standing there just to like meet him at the door, and I just want to give this guy like just like a really intense glare. Just
Give me an
like,
intimidation roll.
Yeah.
Bjorn is surprised at this, Saskia just popping up and giving this dirty look. Kind of just looking a
Yeah,
little
you wouldn't have-
confused.
Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't see it. It's not that scary though. It's more like a meh. I got a 9.
9. Okay. It's not so much that it's not scary; it's that he's not scared. Because you give a glare, he's confident.
Yeah.
That he shouldn't.
So
be scared
am
of
I.
you.
I just say, all right, let's relax. This is my friend. We'll be on our way now.
We appreciate your help. We will see you tomorrow.
Could I roll an insight check? I
What are
know
you
it's a
looking
little
for?
bit.
What are you looking for?
From that last sentence, I just want to see, because I thought that I was being very helpful, and I feel like he's being very curt with me right now, and I just want to see if he's really grateful for what I've done today.
Yeah,
or
if
he
you
really
give me a
wants
quick
me to
insight
be there
for that.
tomorrow.
You can give me a quick insight for that.
19.
Yeah, I mean he's being short with you. It could very easily just be that he wants to go to bed. But you know, I would say you won't be walking away from this conversation without a little bit of suspecting that he's not grateful. Actually, I won't say that you like suddenly like know what this man's intent is, but you can tell that there's something about the way he said it that was a bit ungrateful. He let go a little bit of his facade.
I say, you're welcome. And while I'm slowly leaving out the door, I turn around, like I poke my head back out. Like I'm like about to close the door behind me, and I like pull the door open a little and like stick my head back in, and I say, if you need anything, I'll be around. I won't leave this town until I found out what's happening here.
Okay. You're saying that to them in general, all of them, or to the woman?
I'm saying that directly to this guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Perfect.
I don't even care where the woman's
Perfect.
back in the other room.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you see, like, there is a moment where he kind of, like, there's a little worry in his eyes, but he nods and smiles and sort of, not forces you out, but begins closing the door on you.
Okay, I leave.
Yeah. Two of you walk back to your two friends in the bush.
Yeah, I think I just, as soon as the door closes, I'm like, Bruce, you out here?
Yeah.
I go and find him.
Yeah, you can easily enough, you find Bruce at the end of the hedge.
Why? Why did you? You could have just.
The fuck
So,
is going on in there?
Anything that needs our attention? Or is he just a sick boy?
Clearly he's sick, but I've learned that it definitely has to do with the spirits. I was able to cast a spell to ease his pain for a while. I think that it'll probably help them. But they were acting very strange in there. Almost like they didn't appreciate my efforts.
Who were the ones you talked to?
There's two men. They didn't give their names, but they said that they were family. The woman was very distraught. She didn't say much. But apparently they're cousins coming to stay to keep eyes on the sickly one. He lives here with his sister.
I don't know, though. I heard them talking, and they said something about she needed to make a decision.
Well, all right. So, a lot of things to unpack here.
Where the
But-
fuck is Jacquette, by the way?
He went
both
sneaking
ways.
probably somewhere. As soon as you guys ran off, I turned around. He was gone.
Oh, fuck.
Good.
Actually, technically, now that I realize it, the position Jacquette's in, Bruce, you've 100% can see him with the tremor sense.
Well, I can't, so I stick by that.
No, I forgot to. I realized, like, as I'm narrating all these things, Bruce can see, like, Jacquette's just like right there, so like you could definitely see him watching.
Guys, he's right behind you.
No, Jacquette is still at the window.
He's at the window of the house.
Yeah. I meant you can see him at the window still.
I would have liked to have thought that like Jacquette is
Jeez.
done, and I just placed him right.
I know
behind you guys.
Septimus is not that perceptive, but Jesus.
Booga booga.
Oh,
We
he's just
got
standing
you.
right on top of you.
I imagine Bruce like there was like a particularly tabaxi looking bush nearby that Bruce thought was him.
I would like to. I mean, so like I think Bruce probably would see some of Jacquette, but I think it would be harder. Like even though he's tremor sense, I imagine Jacquette has
Yeah.
like a lighter step.
Yeah, I would say.
I was gonna
Like, I don't
say,
know. Yeah.
what did you roll in your perception for tremor sense?
I didn't roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
I
just
guess we'll have to
edit,
start
that's
doing
right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things that rolls is written. It's just you can see within anything
Right.
that's like it's
Well,
not.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that. I didn't even think about it that it would be.
You're right that
rolls
we might want to
necessarily.
start doing rolls for that for the against the stealth, since it is the quiet foot. That would be a particular aspect of that
Yeah.
would go against tremor sense. So that's a good point. We should probably start doing that instead of having it be always perfectly perfect visual. Or it might be like you get a vague sense of his movements but can't see it as well as you would. Maybe you could like just see his footprints, but we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool if you're just seeing his like little droplets of like, cat footprints.
I would probably vague
Little
Yeah.
cat.
And I guess if he's not moving, you wouldn't really see him that much.
it would be harder, much harder.
It'd be harder, yeah. Okay, well, we'll figure it
yeah.
out when it's necessary next. But Jacquette, while they're, or actually no, Bruce, you had something you were saying.
I totally forgot what I was saying. What was the conversation we were having?
You know where Jacquette is, I guess.
No.
yeah.
There was something you were going to say before that. It was after he had said the men were acting strange, didn't give him names, they didn't seem grateful. It sounded like you were about to say like what your options were. You were about to be like, we can.
All right, so okay, we just stormed their house. What's now the plan of attack? Is are we just gonna stand idly by, or are we all gonna investigate this child together and this family in 2 hours?
Well, I told them that I'd head back to the inn, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have to. I'm sure they have their eyes on us, even now. I assume that we probably want to keep an eye on them, but
As far as them not being grateful, you think it could just be a symptom of them being extremely stressed that maybe a family member is dying, or that also this whole commotion comes late in the night?
I think there's more
Right.
to it than that. I don't know what it is, and it's driving me fucking crazy.
now hold
also,
on.
we really just got into these. Yeah, okay. We just stormed a person's house. Their family matters, and then they're agitated because their family member is now possessed by whatever disease or whatever this is, and then we just come in. Yeah, of course they're going to be on edge, given their situation. I think it's fair to just insert ourselves into these families' lives and assume a lot of things. Just my 2 cents.
Septimus, I appreciate you coming out, but I'm satisfied. I felt a disturbance and I investigated it, and I did what I could to help. If you think that this can wait till tomorrow, then I'll go back to the inn right now, no questions asked.
You are the ones that talked to them. I barely heard anything in the conversation. If you can tell me that something was definitely off, then my mind might be changed. But I'm trying to play devil's advocate here.
Right. So I felt, from their perspective, that something was definitely off. The arguments that Saskia Seawitch talked about beforehand doesn't seem to add up, and they were very aggressive. Even they almost pulled knives on me. They were so concerned. I don't think those people are who they say they are, but I don't think that there's immediate danger that could be proven.
All right, hold on. We're here to observe the disease, right?
Right.
We don't really care about these people or their doings or why their family matters, for that matter. We need to see and investigate the disease. So why do we care?
The
Like,
reason
do you think that their lives are in danger?
What
that
other
would convince me to stay or act on it, because if it's something else that might be petty, then I say we.
Look, I'm
Right.
trying to do things your way.
No,
If it
actually,
were me,
you do
I
things
would-
your way.
Your way was not my way. Was not riding out in the middle of the night to knock on these people's doors. That was not my way. So do not try to say that this was my way.
And
I'm gonna-
also,
I want to check in with Jacquette. Jacquette, what are you doing? Also, I'm assuming you guys walked a little bit away from the house and you're not screaming about storming the house in front of it.
ah,
Yes.
Well, sure.
Yeah, Jacquette.
Jacquette stayed at the window to observe what happened after Fearn left.
Yes. So, after Fearn left, you can see the green-eyed man close the door, and you can clearly see, like, no insight check necessary, furious. He's like trying to hold back a lot of anger, and he looks down the hall, and you can see him walking slowly towards it. As you can still hear and somewhat see the woman. She's tears are a little bit more like tears of surprise and happiness here, as she's hugging onto her brother. You can see that bigger guy is just standing in the corner, like he looks just confused and like uncertain about what to do. And you can see the man does step into the doorway of the bedroom. You can see you see that he does take out the dagger. He doesn't take it out in a way like, I'm coming to stab you, but more like, I'm going to remind you I have a dagger. You can see he just puts one arm up on the frame of the door and just kind of leans forward on it, holding the dagger, and looks at the woman and says, and I will ask for a perception check real quick, just for full clarity of what he says here, because he is kind of talking quietly, because he's not sure if they're still out front.
That's an 8.
Okay, so you don't hear nothing, because it's just, you're not going to hear the whole thing. The gist of what you get, though, and you can see he's clearly like pointing the dagger at her, and you can somewhat read his lips a little bit, and the part where you really can hear it is when his voice does get a little louder instead of this more quiet, threatening whisper in the beginning, and you hear him say, "No wise sage, no holy man is coming for your brother. Some random traveler from Ivan. Only we have the cure. Remember that when he comes back tomorrow." And you see he sheaths the dagger and then takes out from his jacket a little tiny blue crystal. And not like a cut gem or like, it looks like it looks like Walter White's crack. It's a little like rock candy. It's blue. And just places it on the table next to the bed. And the last thing you hear him say is, "We'll be back tomorrow. Remember, we have eyes on the farm." And you see him walk out of the room, and the other guy walk out too. This is when they don't leave like right away. They are like looking out the window. They want to make sure Fearn has left. Fearn and Sass have left fully.
I guess in that time, just quickly before, like, are we just standing in like the front waiting for Jaquette too, or because?
So I mean, that's
I
why.
I imagine just still in the bushes.
Yeah, I imagine you guys were having that conversation quieter than some of the RP came out, but you're at the end of the.
Okay.
Basically, it's like you're at the end of the front walkway of the house, and we're kind of having this conversation. Your conversation is happening at the same time that conversation is happening.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interject.
Right.
You can keep
No,
going.
no,
I was
it's
just
good
curious
clarity.
where we were.
That's a good thing to clarify. That was all happening somewhat simultaneously. I imagine as that sort of part of the conversation, Jarquette, that you're witnessing is coming to its end, is when you can hear your friends arguing. And you're really only like about 15, 20 feet away from them.
Right. So Jacquet is going to slip away and return to the rest of the party.
Mhm.
Arise,
So you basically, I'll say this happened exactly where I cut you guys off before, where you were all,
Right.
kind of getting a little bit louder and saying, "What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? No, we can't just do that. We can't just-"
This was absolutely not my idea. Do not even suggest that was my idea.
It's totally your idea. You didn't want to do violence. I'm doing things your way.
Fiance, I wanted to stay in bed and deal with it in the morning. What are you saying right now?
You
I don't
didn't
think you're
know
fully
what I
grasping
knew.
the situation, that there might be someone in danger.
You all
there.
just hear light but forceful tisk tisk tisk, like enunciated that way, coming from the darkness behind you. And Jacquet walks forward from the gloom, going, "I leave you all for 5 minutes, and what? You divulge into this nonsense. Always with the fighting. Fearn, good job. You were right.
Thanks.
Something's
I
not
was
right
right,
here.
huh?
Those men are not related to David and his sister.
Fucking
They claim to have a cure, some kind of small blue crystal, and they have eyes on the farm. I'm thinking myself, and he looks over at Sass. Sass can tail them. They must be part of something bigger. And since we're the only two that can, reliably
Be
sneak.
quiet. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It might be sensible for us to find out more from what they're doing. The three of you, however, should return here come dawn to see what's going on with David in there. The men are probably going to be leaving soon, so if we're going to do this, Saskia, we should do it now.
I've wanted to do it for a fucking hour now. Something's not sitting right, and it's driving me mad trying to figure out what's going on. So yes, let's go.
Is there a reliable way we can communicate with you three while we're gone?
Septimus turns to Bruce.
I only have a limited amount of business cards left.
If you need us, shoot one of the kites off the
Hold on.
top of the
We,
cabin.
but we might not be there.
Yeah, you
How
won't
would-
be able to
why
see
would
that.
we-
That's way too far
what-
away.
We don't even. What? No. If anything, I'll use like a minor illusion and like try to cast it as high in the sky as I can. That's about the best I can do, sans anything else.
Bruce is just gonna lean down and pick up 2 stones. Clack them together. Hello? Yeah? Yeah.
There's a little bit of feedback.
All right. Here. There you go. Talking to stone.
He just looks at the other three like,
Put it to your ear.
hello? Hello?
Yeah, there you go. Is that gonna work?
Okay. Are these what I think they are?
It's like kind of temporary sending stones. I kind of learned how to do it through one of the random books I read. Actually, surprised it worked.
Jacquet slips it into a pocket. Very good, Bruce. You do have your uses. All right, then me and Saskia will tell those two men and try to find out more. Just know that they have eyes on this place, so when you come back in the morning, be careful.
What is it?
Do you have
Septimus?
something?
Yeah.
No, Septimus just nods. Just
Okay.
thinking about. He's just planning in his head.
And then so Jacquet motions to Sass, and he hopefully melts back into the dark.
Me too. My witchy hands.
So the two of you are gonna stealth out, wait for them to leave, follow them.
Yep.
The
Yep.
other three, are you gonna go fully back to town? I mean, it's not that far, so you could go back to town and then just come back in a couple hours.
I would suggest it to get
Yeah.
Sal this time.
Yeah, makes sense. So anything else you always want to do before you split up?
I think Fearn would be kind of fed up after hearing the conversation and understanding the whole situation. So he would be very quiet unless prompted, walking back.
Okay.
And I mean, unless anybody has anything else to say, when we get there, he would say, continue my watch. You get some rest.
Well, by the time we get back, it's probably like 5 a.m. or something, or maybe
Yeah.
less.
Yeah. The sun is beginning to rise.
It's like,
You can see the orange in the horizon.
That'd be no use for me. We tend to Sal. Here. Get him
I'm gonna
up.
go get breakfast.
My two sneaky friends, give me those stealth checks.
Aye, aye, Captain. Oh no!
Hell yeah.
What kind of rogue are you?
The one that gets a natural 1.
Oh no!
What's the
For an
total?
I thought you-
11. For an
I
11.
thought you couldn't get natural
I was gonna say, wait,
ones.
That's
can
for his
you-
charming effects.
It's rough.
Yeah, Silver Tongue only works on persuasion and
Damn.
deception. I
If-
think
If you'd like,
level 11, maybe.
Sass, what'd you get?
16.
If you'd like, Jacquet, I would allow a retroactive bardic inspiration on yourself if you'd like.
Can you give bardic inspiration to yourself?
I think so.
No, a creature other than yourself. Right
I
there
guess
in
that
the
makes sense
beginning.
because you can't inspire someone else. Yeah, or you
Right.
can't inspire yourself in that way. Okay, never
Well,
mind.
Jacquet inspires himself every goddamn day.
True. It just doesn't have. It just doesn't have a magical effect.
Well, everything about him is magical.
True. Oh my god, you're charming me right now.
Do I get advantage?
No. But they have disadvantage on looking.
Yes, they
out for
do
you.
have disadvantage. Or if they're just using their passive, it's -5. So
They are not, since they are making sure you guys left. But they have disadvantage.
One thing I'm curious to see if are you staying near the cabin or are you like in the outskirts? Like where are you guys?
I imagine you guys were staying like towards the end.
wait,
Of the... Yeah.
Sass has Devil Sight. Is that unlimited?
No,
Uh,
no. I think it's like 60
120 feet.
120.
120. Okay, so then Jacquet would probably, and I think Sass would also know the limits to that. She'd be like, hey, I can see perfectly fine up to this limit. So we would be about 120 feet out, right?
Absolutely. So I imagine you'd be like on the other side of the road, at the end of the farm, where you can still see down the main road, so you can see if they walk out of the door. Okay. Yeah. You after some time spot them walking out the front door. I mean, heading up the main road of the farm. As far as you can tell, they have no idea you're there. And I think that is probably a good place to end tonight.
Oh no, I want to keep going. No.
Debated.
60 more minutes.
Unfortunately, no. Okay, so that's where we're gonna end tonight. We have our two stalkers and the three folks we're going to come back and investigate and talk to the woman the next morning, and we will see what happens next week for that.
Yes, we shall.
Alrighty, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. We will hopefully see you all soon again in Paradise. We will have Shannon back for Power Hour this weekend. Okay. But again, anyone else is free to hop in if they would like. It was very fun to talk to Clay last night about stuff. We're gonna send. Clay. Good job, Clay.
Are you streaming this Wednesday, man? We'll see. It's a game day decision.
No.
Yeah. Well, now that you said that,
Don't tease them, Sean. And by them I mean me. I sit there, 8:55. Like, is he gonna stream?
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah, I apologize. I have been falling right to sleep when I get home on Wednesdays lately. It's like my only rest day, so that's why it's been hard. But I want to stream. It is still somewhat of an if, though. Okay. We're gonna send a raid on. Let's see who's on right now.
We are.
Let's raid ourselves.
Yeah, let's raid ourselves. Good idea.
Whoa.
Right,
Brilliant.
and then that's how we'll play another hour. We'll raid ourselves and start a new session. No, we're gonna raid Geekly Inc. Right? That's the name of it? Oh yeah.
Bless you.
There it is.
We got
There it
it.
is.
We got it.
There it
I
is.
got it. I got it to the
Right
end
in
of
at
this-
the end.
We
Right
got
at
him,
the
man.
end. I'm fine.
Oh, what's that? Alrighty. Alright, folks. Oh, jeez. Alright. I'm going to pull this out and then get the raid going. So, alright, folks. We'll see you when we see you. Hopefully next week or before that. Have a good, lovely evening. Thank you for joining us in Paradise. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.